All right, moving into the last segment here. Uh, as I said before, Lions legends. So those are some of the guys I'll be talking about over the next few weeks here. We're starting tonight with Barry. Um, yeah, let's get right into it. All right. So as I said before, this week it's going to be Barry Sanders. If we're going to start it off, why not start it off with the greatest Lion to ever play? It's got to be Barry off the bat. Just looking at some of the comments here. Sean said, "Oh snap, Tez Johnson is legit." You know, Alex Schomburg will love that. Yeah, he's a guy I'm really high on. It was just that offensive line, like I said, kind of started to slip a little bit. So yeah, there was that there. Bringing Seth Hennigan, man, I would love to. He was off the board by the time I was considering a quarterback, so that sucked. But maybe in this next mock draft I can steal him. Sean, again, did you trade with Washington? No, we traded with Jacksonville and then traded up with San Francisco. Night Train, yeah, and Barry, yeah, two of the greatest lines to ever do it. So we'll definitely show Night Train some love in the coming weeks here. But we're going to start off with Barry. So right off the bat, he went to college at Oklahoma State, won the Heisman Trophy in 1988. These numbers came up quite a bit because Ashton Genty, who's going into the draft this year, was trying to catch Barry. He fell just short, but 2,850 rushing yards and 42 touchdowns. Absolutely insane. Saw a comment here. Ben said Barry Sanders, Megatron, Sue, and Stafford would be on my Lions Mount Rushmore. It's hard to argue with that. I mean, I love Night Train Lane. And I mean, there's also Bobby Lane and those kind of guys from the past as well. But it's just like, if you're going to move one of them in, who do you take off? The first guy to go, I think, would be Stafford. Maybe Sue, but just because he only played the 4 years. But both those guys were so impactful in Detroit that it'd be hard to knock either of them off. So, yeah, that'd probably be my four as well. But then there's Spielman and those guys from the 90s as well, that it's just like, it's such a hard list, even though this team hasn't been very good for a lot of years. I'm glad to see them doing well now. But yeah, so back to Barry. He was drafted 3rd overall in the 1989 draft. Again, great draft class off the bat. There was Aikman, there was Dion. Of course, Green Bay kind of sucked at the 2nd overall pick. They were the only bad pick there in the top 5, 6, 7 picks, whatever it was. Yeah, there was Barry, there was Dion. I believe Derek Thomas was in this draft as well. Just a phenomenal draft class. We were lucky to end up with Barry at the 3rd overall pick. And then some of his accomplishments here: spent all 10 years in Detroit with the Lions. He won the 1989 Offensive Rookie of the Year. He won the Offensive Player of the Year in 1994 and 97, also winning the MVP in 97. If I'm not mistaken, it was a co-MVP with Brett Favre. He was a Pro Bowler every year of his career and was an All-Pro every year of his career as well. 89 to 91, first team All-Pro, then 92, 93, second team. Back to the first team in 94 and 95, then second team 96, back to the first team in 97, and then the last year, second team All-Pro in 1998. And he was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in the class of 2004 with 15,269 career rushing yards, which is currently 4th all-time, and 99 career rushing touchdowns, which is 11th all-time. And you're only starting to see some guys kind of touch these numbers. Frank Gore, who played forever. Adrian Peterson's right there. but a lot of these numbers are going to be hard for running backs nowadays to touch just because it's become such a pass heavy league. A lot of teams are doing running backs by committee. So Barry won't fall too much more than what he's been here. But depending who you talk to, one of the greatest, or arguably the greatest running back to ever do it. Everyone that I've talked to has him at least in the top 3. Glad he was a Lion. It was one of those guys that he retired just before I was born. No, sorry, his last year was right as I was born. And so it was kind of one of those guys I had to learn after, but was so much fun to watch. All the highlights, you could go watch Barry Sanders highlights for hours, and it's constantly him making guys look silly. Running to the right, there's nothing there. Run all the way back to the left, and all of a sudden it's a wide open lane for a touchdown. Spinning guys, juking guys, hurdling guys. He was electrifying. So I felt there was nobody better to start off this Lions Legends segment with than Barry Sanders, the greatest Lion to ever do it. Yeah, that is the first Lions Legends segment.